friends. So I am getting ready. I worked out this morning. I did a great workout this morning. I took a shower. I'm getting ready to go see The Housemaid in theaters. Today it comes out, the 19th. I am so excited. The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. That book was one of the first books the first thrillers that I read as an adult, and that got me back into reading. So, and that was just around May last year. I read that book, it blew me away, and I always think about it. So I'm so excited to go see it in theaters, and I'm nervous too, because I'm really hoping that it's done well, especially with the great cast that they do have. But so far, I've been kind of seeing some people's reactions the premiere watchers, they have been showing their reactions and they're like a little bit of their thoughts, and they're saying good things. So let's cross our fingers. I do have high hopes. And apparently Frida said that when she saw the movie, that she actually thought they did it better than the book. So I'm very intrigued. So we're gonna see. I'm going on a little date with the hubby, and we're just gonna enjoy the day. I requested today off because I need to watch this movie, and it's kind of hard to watch movies in the evening with my kids because that's not the kind of movie I could bring my kids. So it's just during the day where they're in school, it just works out better for us. So that is what we're gonna do today, and I'm bringing you guys with me, of course. I am just so excited. And I talked to my husband about all of the books that I read. He's pretty much the guy that hears all of the juicy gossip when it comes to the books I read. So he kind of has a gist about what this book is about too, but I'm excited to see his thoughts as a non-reader. Like, he reads a little bit, but I'm trying to get him more into reading. I'm excited to get his reaction as well. But yeah, so I'm just doing a light makeup, nothing too crazy, just put together. When they first announced this movie, this book was going to be adapted into a movie, and then they showed the cast. Exciting is not even the word that I was or am still. I am so freaking hyped. Wish I had book girlies in real life, because this would have been such a fun time to be with friends and going as a group and people that have read the book as well. But that's okay. I mean, I love my man, you know what I mean? He's like my favorite company. But you get it, the girls get it. Like, you going with some girls and having a little girl day, and having the same reaction as your friends, because all my friends online that love the same books as me, we get so excited talking about it, and just having that energy in real life, must be so nice. Also, if you see this mascara at Dollar Tree, Lift and Lock, get it. It's so good. Oh my gosh. And now, of course, I can't find it anywhere. So when the next time I see it, I'm gonna stock up. Now, if it is a drier formula, so if you don't like dry mascara formulas, then this isn't probably not gonna be for you, but I like drier formulas. I feel like I do one coat of this and then a slightly second coat, and my lashes are so curled. They're so curled and they just look so pretty. Okay, I'm finished getting ready. I feel so pretty. I wanted to give you guys an update. I have to have the mic on because my husband's in the shower and I feel like it's loud and he's listening to some music, so I hope this is okay. But I did want to give you guys a reading update as well before I leave. I am going to read a little bit more before I go because I do still have some time. But What's Coming to You by Shivani J, I think that's how you say it. This is an indie author that reached out to me. And of course, I love finding new authors. I love supporting indie authors. And this sounded so good. So I started this, I believe, yesterday. And I could not get my eyes off of it. I was reading it really slow and just at a regular pace. And I am currently on page 70. So I'm about like 20-ish% in. And I'm really, really liking this. I like how the author writes. It's very easy and very compelling to read. And in this book, it's a domestic thriller. We're following Mari, and she is about to go on a blind date. Her best friend is setting her up with her best friend's boyfriend or husband's best friend. And apparently he's this very hot guy that has his things together, but he just needs a little push finding a good person to be with. So her best friend's trying to push them together, and they just hit it off. And we're kind of getting to know their relationship through the years. So we go to like year one, and then they get married, and then it's like 3 years in the marriage, and just like getting to know them within, you know, their marriage and stuff like that. And they're going through other ups and downs. This book, straight in the back, it says it. Mari never imagined she'd end up with someone as handsome and charming as Mason Goodrich. After 6 years of marriage, their relationship is far from perfect, but she refuses to give up what they've built together. Little does she know, Mason's got other plans, and in one horrific night of discovery, her world comes crashing fatally down. So we know something is gonna happen. I think this has like revenge in it. From the synopsis, that's pretty much all I know. And I'm just riding the wave reading this book, and I'm really enjoying it. So far, this is giving me what I'm craving in the moment. I love a good domestic thriller as well. And like I said, I am really appreciating the writing style, reading about the author as well. And she is Guyanese. I wrote it in my book, but I'll put a little screenshot of a little fun facts about her. But I thought that was so cool that she was already into, I think, the TV production scene, and she was behind the scenes in like movies and films, and I thought that was so cool. So seeing all that for many years, she has her own ideas, and that's why she started writing and trying to put her ideas onto paper. And I just love that. I love that so much. So far enjoying it. I will let you guys know when I'm more into it, but I will be reading a little bit before I go, and then we're gonna go see The Housemaid. I'm so excited. Hi, friends. So it is the next day, and we saw The Housemaid. It was really good. I thought it was very exciting to see the movie adaptation to The Housemaid, one of my favorite books ever. And honestly, the only critique I will have to say is that the ending felt rushed. They did change a few things, and also I just feel like Sydney Sweeney just wasn't the proper Millie. I do like Sydney Sweeney a lot, but for Millie, I don't know, I didn't feel the Millie vibe, unfortunately. So I did rate it a 7.5 star out of 10. Still a great time and still very, very fun. Brandon, what's his name? Brandon? He played the husband. Oh my god, he did such a good job, dude. He did such a good job. And Nina, great. So good. But yeah, really, really good. I had a good time. And we've just been relaxing. I worked out. And then I did everything, shower, washed my hair and everything. Just had dinner. And I just been reading all day. I forgot to mention yesterday that I also was reading. I have the ebook of another author I haven't heard of, but I've been hearing good things. And this is Sweet Little Lies by Leah Cups. It's on Kindle Unlimited. It's a psychological thriller, kind of like popcorn thriller-esque, and it's kind of like domestic thriller. So far, it's so good. It's 50. I'm 50% in. The writing is very easy. I just wish we would get a little bit quicker to the good stuff, because she's pretty much marrying this very rich guy. They live in South Carolina. She has a bakery, makes cakes for the town or whatever, and she's now getting married to this guy that is very well known in the town. And she starts getting like cryptic messages saying like, if you don't break up the wedding, something's gonna happen to you, pretty much. So some events start happening, like her shop gets vandalized, and she's just getting those cryptic messages, and she's just like, I don't know who the hell would not want me to marry this guy. And this guy has like a past of being engaged to another woman, and she apparently left him at the altar, and no one's heard of her ever since. And apparently that she's been on vacation or something. I don't believe it. But so her fiance is he's very sketchy. He's very sketchy, and he definitely has secrets. So we're just following her and her upcoming wedding, and just dealing with all of the stress and drama. So I'm really hoping it kind of speeds up what's going on. Like, it's kind of just like, oh, I'm getting a message. Oh my, this is happening. Oh my gosh, I'm like, I want to know what's going on. Like, give us something else. So far, it's all right. I definitely plan on finishing this by tomorrow. But yeah, just wanted to give you guys that update. And then I'm still reading What's Coming to You. I'm really enjoying this as well. So so far it's just gonna be a relaxing day, and I will probably update you guys tomorrow. But today I am just reading and being in my zen. Good morning, friends. I've been reading this all weekend, What's Coming to You, and getting to the part is in the synopsis. And you know, you would think because I knew this was coming, from the synopsis, that I wouldn't be as like emotional or shocked about it. But because this author has definitely given us a great amount of character development, the first half of this book, I'm almost at 50% now. First 45% of it, we're really, really, really looking into Mari's life and her marriage and her family. This is strongly character driven, which I like. But for a thriller, this is definitely not like a popcorn thriller in any sense. Much more deep and has a little bit more depth. And it's very refreshing to read, to be honest, because I have been just reading, especially my last two reads were popcorn thrillers from Kindle Unlimited. And I needed something a little bit more with sustenance, you know? And I'm getting my period, so I'm feeling extra emotional. And so we just got to the part we found out about her husband's affair. Her husband, Mason, which is so weird because my son's name is Mason, so it feels weird even saying that. But her husband's name is Mason, and he is such a piece of crap. He is the biggest piece of freaking crap ever. I cannot stand him at all. Like, I cannot stand him. Found out about his affair. She's 7 months pregnant. It's heartbreaking. I was on the verge of tears, because it's like, oh, that's so shitty. Like, you gotta be the most piece of crap to, first of all, cheat on your wife while pregnant and cheat on your wife at all, and then to maybe have done something to your wife, an unborn child. We don't know if it was him, you know, we're not sure, but now we're following the detective on the case. Detective actually had a dream prior to them finding Mari. She had a dream with Mari in it, and I really, really liked that chapter. I really did. It felt so, it just felt very gut-wrenching. Gave you a good visual. So yeah, I'm on chapter 19, almost 150 pages in. And so now we're trying to figure out, was this an accident or is it foul play? And I'm just so eager to know, you know, where it's gonna go. Is it gonna have like a unique ending, or is it gonna go how, you know, a usual, it was the husband and plain and simple, that's it. I'm hoping obviously for the unique aspect to it, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. The writing is very, very well done. This is very emotional. Please check your trigger warnings if you want to read this, because this has to do with child loss and obviously death. The synopsis says a lot. So if you want to go into this fairly blind, I would go into this blind. Just know that this is domestic thriller, and I'm really, really eager to know the outcome. So I will check in with you guys later. Good morning, friends. I wanted to give you guys a reading update. I did wind up finishing What's Coming to You yesterday, and I'm settling on a 3.75 star. This was really good, very emotional, very emotional. Check your triggers for this one. Of sad conversations. And also, I did not know this was going the paranormal route, and I feel like that is something you definitely need to know getting into this book, because I know a lot of people don't like paranormal thrillers. This has a paranormal element, just so you know. But I don't mind paranormal, so I had a good time with that. I wish there was honestly more of it. And this definitely has like revenge in it as well. Very unlikable main male character. Oh my gosh, he infuriated me, but we got justice. We got justice. I did, with the last check-in I told you guys, I hope this went a more unique route, but no, it didn't. It definitely went a route that you would expect it would go. But I did learn that this is supposed to be inspired by the true crime case of Lacey Peterson. It's supposed to be an inspired by that case. I really appreciated that. The writing was really great, very compelling read. I just wish it was, you know, the ending was just a bit more unique for me. But 3.75 stars, still a great read. I would definitely suggest it if you're looking for a thriller that will definitely give you a gut punch. And I also wanted to briefly talk about the other book that I finished. I know I didn't really touch on it much, but it's Sweet Little Lies by Leah Cups. And this, I just was scrolling on my FYP and I saw a couple people talking about it. It's a popcorn thriller, so it's on a Kindle Unlimited. This felt longer than what it was. This is great for beginner thriller readers or readers that don't read thriller but just want to dabble. This was very average and very, very basic in my opinion. There's not much shocking twists, and as for me, there's no shocking twist in it. It still was enjoyable. I do wish it was a bit more fast-paced because I felt like in the middle it was just a little bit like, get to the point, or more interesting things would happen, but it didn't. It kind of dragged out. So I did settle on a 3-star. Wasn't bad, just very average for me. Nothing original. So yeah, I'm just gonna settle on a 3-star, and I think this would be better suited for a beginner thriller reader. As for my next read, I'm gonna read The Place Where They Buried Your Heart by Christina Henry. Oh my god, look at this beautiful cover. Look at this beautiful cover. That is stunning. I just love it. Oh my goodness. And from what I'm hearing, this is actually supposed to be like Stranger Things meets, well, my light just turned off, but this will be quick. This will be our next read. Abandoned house where once upon a time terrible things happen. The children who live on this block are told by the parents to stay away from the house, but of course children don't listen. The children think it's fun to be scared and to dare each other to go inside. Jessie did what many older sisters do and dared her little brother Paul, but unlike all the other kids who went inside that abandoned house, Paul did not return. His 2 friends, Jake and Richie, said that the house ate Paul. Of course, adults didn't believe that. Adults never believe what kids say. They thought someone kidnapped Paul and hurt him. The disappearance of her little brother broke Jessie's family apart in ways that would never be repaired. Jessie grew up, had a child of her own, and kept living in the same street where the house that ate her brother sat, crouched and waiting, and darkness seemed to spread out from that house, a darkness that was alive and hungry. So, house-eating people, sign me up. Cannot wait. This sounds so creepy. Just ready to dive in. Do not pay mind to all of my books by my bed. That is the life of a mood reader. I don't know what I'm in the mood for when I go to bed, so I just have a whole bunch that I think I'm gonna be in the mood for, and then I just figure it out from there. Chapter 4, pretty much 50 pages in, and oh boy, the atmosphere is already starting from the beginning. We just learned about the history of the house, and man, it was brutal. Check your trigger warnings. A man named Glenn was just a miserable POS, and he was pretty much hitting his children and his wife and abusing them, and the neighborhood knew this was happening. They ignored the bruises, they ignored the screams, and one day Glenn gets fired and kills his whole family. And nobody did nothing. They were rotting in their house for almost a week until they started smelling things. Main character Jessie, she's trying to get information from the people that lived there at the time of the massacre, so that she can get information on the house to potentially see what happened with her brother all those years ago. So wow, such a dark, disturbing past. I can only imagine like what paranormal things are in the house. Like, is it the wife? Is it the kids? Like, is it the husband? And oh, it's just like, it's gripping me already, and I'm really liking it. Really compelling. So far, having a great time. Good morning, friends. It is Monday. We had our long Christmas weekend. It was so nice. I did actually, me, my son, and my husband wound up getting sick. We got like a little cold, nothing too bad, but just a lot of like sneezing and congestion, and it was so annoying. But nonetheless, we still had an amazing Christmas break. I hope you guys had an amazing Christmas as well. My kids had so much fun with all their gifts, and my husband wound up giving me a box full of gifts that he knows I would love, and it just meant so much to me. So nonetheless, it was a great weekend. Yesterday was Sunday, and we literally were so lazy. I took the longest nap ever. It was so good. It was so cozy, and I didn't really read as much as I wanted to this weekend, but that's okay. Everyone needs a break. I did want to update you guys because I did finish The Place Where They Buried Your Heart by Christina Henry, and this was fun. This was very fun, and you know what? The whole time I was reading this book, it reminded me so much of, I'll put it on the screen. I think it's Monster House. I'm not sure. It's a cartoon movie. And I love that movie. It's so much fun. It's so cute. But this one's obviously a little bit more dark and gory, which I love. I just thought this was very entertaining. At first, I really was gearing like a 3.5. That's how I was feeling. The ending, I actually really enjoyed because there's something that happens and it was very heartwarming. It just felt very visceral. I really enjoyed the visuals of how Christina Henry wrote the book and wrote the ending. So the ending I thought really pushed my rating, and I wound up going with a 4-star. It was a great lighthearted horror, nothing too crazy, great for beginner-friendly horror readers. Very heartfelt, you know? So I really enjoyed this. Another win for Aardvark. I swear, Aardvark just knows how to pick them. And I also got a package on Christmas. The day after Christmas, I wound up getting this package, and I did inform you guys that the publishers reached out to me asking me if I wanted to read the book, and I said heck yeah. And I did not know this was gonna be a PR box. I thought it was just gonna be the book, and I was so pleasantly surprised because this is what came in. Oh my god, I'm so excited. This is gonna be Colleen Hoover's new book, coming out January 13th, I believe. I loved Verity. That was one of the first books I read with my eyeballs within 5 hours. I rarely read books that fast unless the author is like, you know, writing it in a way that I'm just like eating it up. And that book was so good. It was so bingeable. And so I was just, this was already on my TBR, so I'm just so appreciative that they sent me this. So first in the box is a eye mask, and it just says women down or woman down. And I'm looking for an eye mask, so that's pretty cool. And then, and it's nice and silky too. The next thing in the box is a candle. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. It is Log Cabin scented candle. When I smelled it the first time, it was like fresh. Oh, okay, it's like a floral. It's more floral. And I think it's just so pretty, nice and aesthetic. So nice. Yeah, very nice. It's very fresh floral kind of scent. Not too bad. I'm not much of a candle person or like a at-home plug-in air freshener type person because my allergies just, it cannot. But I do occasionally like putting on some candles here and there. So got that. And then the next thing is a mirror. And let me, ooh, that's so satisfying. The mirror says, do you see fiction or reality? I was just like, dude, that's so cool. It's just a mirror, which I can always use. Last but not least is the book. I'm so excited. So you already know, this is gonna be my next read. Okay, so before I jump the gun, I am reading a book on my Kindle. And I'm really enjoying it. And it's actually on my TBR. And I was watching Michaela Reads. I love her videos. We are mutuals. And I just love watching her. And she recently did a video that she recommended a book called The Good Sister by Sally Hepworth, I believe. And this has neurodivergent representation. I love books with neurodivergent representation, or like on the spectrum, anything in that realm, I really enjoy. So she was raving about it, and she doesn't really talk about that book. So I was like, okay, cool, let me dive into it. I gotta say, within the first, like the prologue, it grabbed me immediately. So let me tell you a little bit about that book, but this one will absolutely be the physical book that I read because I'm reading The Good Sister on my Kindle. I like to go back and forth with books. That's how I read so much books. I just want to put something down and pick something up in a different genre. And so this will definitely be my physical book that I get into. Let me tell you a little bit about The Good Sister first. I'm not going to tell you much about the synopsis because I don't know much going into it, but we are following two sisters, Fern and Rose. And right in the beginning of the prologue, we're learning that these sisters have a very strong bond. And Fern is our neurodivergent character, and her sister Rose is 29 years old. And once she hit 29, she got this huge urge to want to be a mom. She just wants to be a mom. It's like her hyperfixation in the moment. And her sister does something to make that happen. That's all I truly know about it going into this book. We're following Rose and Fern in our dual POVs, and Fern is a librarian, and she's kind of telling her story of how she fell in love with books and how she fell in love with being a librarian. She wanted to become a librarian. I'm talking about her childhood and how beautiful it was that her mother took her to the library. She learned so much that truly molded the person that she knew she wanted to become. And then we get Rose's POV, and Rose talks about the same situation, but in a totally different light. She talks about it, she will say, oh, you know, Fern talks about this time in our lives like it was the best thing ever, it was an adventure. And I do not see it that way. This is how it really went, and it's like way darker than initially explained. And I am just loving how the narrative is being explained to us. We're getting the same scene, but in different views. And I just love that. It keeps it so interesting, and you're just like, what? Oh, wow. So that's why. And like, it's way more entertaining that way. It's having a very eerie and suspenseful way of it. In the first or second chapter, we already get a little bit of the darkness in Fern. And I'm just really, really liking it. I'm really, really enjoying it. So that is my e-reader book of choice currently. And then now let's talk about Women Down by Colleen Hoover. So this also don't know. Oh, we have a bookmark too. Hold on. Oh, this is so cool. It was inside the book. Plot twist. Oh, it says plot twist. It gets darker. Ah, I love this freaking bookmark. We dare you to show us the moment you realize. Oh man. So plot twist. It gets darker. And then it says in the back, we dare you to show us the moment you realize it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm definitely going to be recording my reaction to the ending and the twist of this. I'm going to try to get it on camera because, you know, I don't know when the twist is going to happen, you know? So sometimes you just got to put the camera on and just roll until it happens. So I'm going to try my best to do that. But that is so cool. A little magnetic bookmark I love. So it says, they canceled her using their keyboards. Now her keyboard will become her revenge. God, I love a good revenge. I'm already like getting the goosebumps. I'm getting the vibes. I'm getting the vibes, and I just love that feeling so much. It says her words used to set the page on fire, but a viral backlash over the latest film adaptation forced Petra Rose to take a hiatus, resulting in missed deadlines and an overdue mortgage. Branded a fraud and fame-hungry opportunist, she learns the hard way what happens when the internet turns on you, and she's been uninspired to write ever since. She retreats to a secluded lakeside cabin, hoping to find inspiration. His last-ditch attempt to save her career and herself. Then he shows up. Detective Nathaniel Saint arrives with disturbing news, his presence igniting a creativity in her she thought long since burned out. Petra's words return in a rush, and her fictional cop character begins to mirror the very real cop who's becoming her muse. Their research sessions blur the lines between fantasy and reality. Each glance, every touch pulls Petra deeper into a world she thought she'd never lose herself in again. She never felt more alive. But inspiration this powerful comes at a cost. When Saint starts taking his role in her career a little too seriously, Petra's forced to confront the chaos she created. This sounds like it's gonna get messy. This is gonna get messy. I am so excited, truly, truly excited. I can't wait to dive into this, so I will give you guys an update when I have one. This is getting me emotional, maybe because I'm a mom. And so we're now reading about Rose's POV. Rose is writing in her journal. Her therapist recommended it. Her therapist thinks her trauma is because of her childhood. So we're learning about Rose and Fern's childhood through Rose's journal in her POV, which I love. I love that in my books. And so they're talking about the same situation of when they were 5 years old. And their mom used to take them to the library all the time, and how much they loved it. And obviously in Fern's POV, where I was telling you guys that while during this time, this sparked her love for books and wanting to become a librarian. But in Rose's POV, it was a totally different situation and different view. And the way Rose is explaining it, it's getting me emotional because, you know, Fern's POV is so positive about the library. It was an adventure. It was always so much fun, a beautiful memory for her. And so Rose, and I'm only literally 6% in, so this is very, very early on in the book, so I wouldn't consider it a spoiler. But sorry if you hear my son, he's over there having a blast. But Rose talks about that her time in the library wasn't as adventurous as Fern, because in reality they were homeless and they had to go to the library, and they were very appreciative that the library was this space where people can go no matter what your class was, no matter what your race was. Like, you would never be judged. You didn't have to buy anything. You could just go there and learn and just be safe and have a roof over your head. That's emotional for me because, man, I can only imagine, you know what I mean? And being such a young girl and realizing this, and she's talking about her that year that they were homeless, and that, you know, like, they went to the library, and although they were very grateful for it, it wasn't always a happy time for Rose. And she's talking about how they used to couch surf on different couches of her mother's friends because their father wound up leaving the mother and she couldn't afford the rent. So this was her only choice. They lived in their car. They slept in friends' houses until, you know, things got better. I'm not sure, we haven't got there, but she's just talking about that time. And it's so crazy to have different views, but in the same situation. I find that very, very interesting and very intriguing. So she's talking about now the library, and there was a librarian that worked there, Mrs. Delahunty, and she was very kind to the girls. She always asked if they were hungry, did they eat, where did they sleep, and just read them books. And Rose is like, you know, there was times where I wish she was my mom, or I would envision her as my mom and living a better life. And oh, it's so sad. It's so sad. It just makes you think, you know. I have read another Sally Hempworth book, which was Darling Girls. I believe it's Darling Girls. And I really enjoyed that book too. And this is my second book from this author. And what I'm gathering with her writing, she has more depth in a thriller than like a popcorn thriller or anything like that. Like, she writes very emotional stories. And I'm really liking that. And I think I should be reading a lot more from this author, because her writing style and everything just really has my attention. And I'm just really enjoying everything I'm reading so far. I'm only 6% on page 19, literally, and I'm already feeling emotional and I want to cry. So I'm getting excited. So we'll see how it goes. Good morning, friends. So yesterday I did finish The Good Daughter by Sally Hempworth. I could not stop reading that book. It was so bingeable, and I feel like Fern was just a fascinating character to read. I love reading about neurodivergent people and or people on the spectrum. I feel like they have such brilliant minds. My son is on the spectrum, and I'm constantly in awe of everything he does and says, and his thought process. I just truly find it fascinating. And Fern was just a one-of-a-kind character for me. I'm gonna constantly think about her. It was giving me like Strange Sally Diamond, which I love that book. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite books of 2024. And it was just so much better than I ever thought it would be. I wound up rating it 4.5 stars. The writing, Sally Hempworth knows how to tell a story. Now, this isn't your traditional thriller, I would say, because there isn't like twists. They're pretty predictable in my opinion, but still very suspenseful and very like drama filled in a good way. Definitely unhinged characters, and the romance was super cute as well with Rocco, aka Wally. If you know, you know. I thought that was so adorable. and just how their love story played out. And it just gave you not only like a regular love story, but just a reminder that there is someone for everybody. And I think that's very beautiful. So nonetheless, I had a great time. Loved it. That was yesterday, and today is the 30th. I have one more day for the end of the year. The book is called Spread Me by Sarah Gailey, and it's literally a 5-hour audio. And I listen to 2 times speed, if not faster. Depends on the narrator, how slow they talk. But usually it's about 2 to 2.15 speed. That is like my perfect speed for me. So I can finish that book in like 3 hours while I'm at work. So I will probably finish that today. And I hear so many people talk about this book. It's fairly new, I think. And I don't know anything about it. All I know, I think, is that it's a female erotic, an erotic female-centered body horror type of book. I love anything female. So I'm very intrigued. And I think that she winds up finding a body and brings it somewhere and it goes in her. I'm not sure. It sounds gross. People are raving about it. So why not, right? Let's finish off the year with a gory read. We'll see how that goes. But I definitely want to read Spread Me today while I'm at work. But before work, I'm going to continue reading Woman Down. So far, I'm about 50 pages in. I was reading it last night before bed. And I have to say, I love the way Colleen Hoover writes. I really do, because just like Verity, my eyes are just glued to the page. I am not easily distracted while reading this book. I feel very invested in what they're saying. The dialogue of our main character, which is Petra. Our dialogue with Petra, I feel like she's a very relatable person. She feels very real. And we're immediately we're diving straight into the backlash that she's getting over this adaptation of her book. And she's driving to a remote cabin and she winds up listening to a podcast, and that is the first chapter in the book, is this podcast. And I really, really enjoy how just the dialogue is, because it sounds like real people. Like when you're reading it, it literally sounds like you're literally listening to a podcast, and that is good writing in my opinion. And so we're listening to a podcast and they're talking about her and the adaptation. And apparently the whole drama behind the backlash is that it was a romantic suspense and it was supposed to be a love triangle. And one of the characters in the book, named Cam, he was taken out of the adaptation because the love triangle just wasn't fitting the movie. So they took it out, and apparently a text message with Petra and the director surfaced, and it was pretty much her letting the director know, like, yeah, she's on board with just taking this guy off the movie, not having a love triangle. And because in the beginning she was like, no, I wanted this, but then the text message came out and people were like, you're a liar. And yeah, it just did not go good for her after that. And so her driving to this lakeside cabin, it's been a year since everything happened, but obviously she's still getting that backlash, and she's just trying to cope with her life right now. And just the unknown of, is her career done? What is she going to do from here? Can she write again? Currently also has writer's block. So she's just having a lot of thoughts. Her only friend at this moment in time, the only person that really cares about her, she's her co-author from what it says here, but her name's Nora. And so she's like, hey, I know you don't want to really be on social media right now because you don't want to, see any negativity towards you, but I think it'll be a really good thing to go live, because they used to go live all the time. And they have like a private group chat with like fans. She's like, why don't we just go on the private one? These are our true fans. It's on Facebook. It's very intimate, and I think it'll help you with baby steps. Just give you that spark again. So she's like, okay. She's kind of reluctant. She's like, oh, I don't know. Like, I'm not in like the good headspace. but Nora just insists, and she's like, don't worry, I'm gonna be like fishing through the comments, making sure we only read good comments and good questions and have a good environment. So they do this, and to be honest, that chapter that they were having the conversations with the fans and the questions, how Petra was answering the questions as an author, and as how her thought process in writing, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. As a reader, I love to kind of be in the author's brain and just know how they're right and what their thought process and how they do things. And you know, you think as a reader, you're like, oh my god, why would this author do that? It's so stupid, like whatever it is, you know, whether it be negative or positive. But then you'll see another reader say a totally different thing about the same thing. So, you know, in a sense, it's like, damn, authors can never win. You can't win. And that could probably be a lot of people, but like specifically authors, because we're reading about one. Like, they can't win. No matter what they do, it's always like, oh, that sucks, and then someone else is saying that's the best, and then, you know what I mean? Like, so she's getting pushed and pulled, and the way she's explaining it was just so intriguing and so interesting, and I really love it. I like how they're getting into the nitty-gritty of an author's mind. So I really enjoyed that. And then that's kind of the last chapter I did. And she's currently writing a book about a detective, another love triangle, romantic suspense. And she has been trying to write this book for 18 months. So now she's in this lakeside cabin, and she is just trying to get in that headspace so she can finish this damn book and revive her career, hopefully. So yeah, so far, I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. I'm really enjoying the writing, and I'm really enjoying how the setup is going. It's very easy to read, and I really hope it gets more suspenseful as I read. I'm sure it will, because from Verity, I'm hoping, you know, this is even better. And apparently this is actually a because in the first, let me see, where is it? In the prologue, Colleen Hoover actually has or it's an author's note. It doesn't specify, but it's like an author's note. And she's like, dear readers, some of you might remember the short story Saint from the One More Step anthology years ago. For those who don't, about to meet it in a much bigger way. That anthology has since been unpublished, but some of you guys never stop asking for more of Saint. You have somehow managed to keep a little story alive in your hearts, even when it wasn't officially available. There's nothing more inspiring for me as a writer than when a reader tells me they want more from characters I created. I wanted to give these characters the space they deserve, truly build one of the world I'd only briefly touched upon when this short story was called Saint. So this is inspired by the short story that she wrote years ago called Saint. I have never read that. I never heard of it. Obviously, I just read only one book from her last year. So that's really cool that she did that. I really like that she did that. I wish I would have read Saint. That would have been even more cool, but that's fine. I like that she got inspired by her own work and made something even bigger and better, hopefully. So I really like that she wrote that, but she's not only saying that in this little author's note, she is also stating that I took the short story some of you read and poured my heart and soul into it, expanding it. It has taken me 3 years to release a book since it starts with us. Not because I've been rewriting Saint for those 3 years, but because I've been trying new things outside of writing. And frankly, I needed some space from a career I was beginning to find more stressful than normal. But that changed when I dove back into this story. Rewriting this book gave me back that same joy I felt while writing the original short story. I've changed the title, some character names, locations, and added scenes, and changed characters, and even wrote a new title, and even wrote a little twist here and there that had no room in the short version. I wanted those of you who had already read it an entirely new and different book with the same underlining story and tones as the short story. This is where, like, because when I was kind of reading the synopsis, I had thoughts, and I don't want to say those thoughts because this is not her intent, and this is the reason why she was writing this author's note as well, and I want to respect the author. But I like that she wrote it to kind of give clarification. She said, just please keep in mind that while writers, they do take from their own lives, and some of the themes may mirror my own life in ways. This is no way a replica of my journey or my morals, nor is it a reflection of how I feel about my peers and or in this industry. This is simply a fun journey the characters took me on and nothing more. Please, I beg of you, do not try to make ties to my personal life and this story, as there are none. I'm just a writer writing about a writer, but I am in no way advocating for or defending the character's behavior and or thoughts. It was a joy to put a new spin on Saint. I hope you're ready to get dizzy and enjoy this fun, sexy, sometimes creepy thrill of a ride. And I really, really like that. And I just read you the whole author's note, so I hope you enjoyed it. But I just thought that was really, really cool that she did that, because I had thoughts. So I'm glad she nipped that in the bud real quick. So anyway, don't want to keep yapping, but I'm still enjoying it, loving it. Really hoping this does work out so I can recommend it to you guys before it comes out. So I'll give you updates when I have them. I am going to read until I have to go to work later. Give you some updates on Spread Me and this book. Good morning, friends. I have been having the laziest, coziest morning. It is freaking freezing when I tell you, like, my hands are so cold. It's such a cold morning, and I said, oh yeah, I'm reading all morning and I'm gonna be cozy and I'm gonna be in my element. I am 60% into Women Down. I can't get my eyes off of this damn book. I am so glued. I am so invested. I have to say, if you do not like cheating in your books, do not read this book. It is not for you. If you don't like certain things, don't read it, because it's just going to alter your opinion. And why would you go into a book with something you don't like, especially when you really, really don't like it, and you're going to give it a bad rating? Don't read it if it's not for you. Please don't read it. I, however, in my books, don't mind it. In my books, I don't mind it. This is not real life. I do not condone this behavior in real life, but it is fucking good in this book. Oh my gosh. The tension was kicking my feet at work. I had to hold in my giggles, feelings like I was bottling it all up. I loved it so much, I had to come home and read it to my husband. I was melting. Tension in this book is absolutely chef's kiss. I think it is top runner-up for the best tension I've ever read in a book. That's how good it is. And I'm very picky with tension. Like, it can't feel insta-lovey. It can't feel cringy. Like, this is done so absolutely well. And the male character, our detective, Saint, aka Cam, I'm envisioning him as Brandon Skelnar. I think that's how you say his last name. Boy, if you only knew. That man, he is so fine. Scrumdiddlyumptious. And I am picturing him as our male protagonist, and it's probably heightening my experience a bit. I would say. Things are starting to take a turn for like darker themes. I'm like, woo, I'm ready for the suspense part. Because from beginning to, I want to say about 50%, the tone is very like rom-com with dark romance. Yeah, that's perfect. Because our female main character, Petra, her inner dialogue is very, very entertaining, very relatable. She's funny. She has a great personality, in my opinion. And I really like her thought process in being an author, everything like that. With the romance in it, it's like role play. It's like we're reading role play within this romance. And I'm here for it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. So like I said, it's felt very rom-com-y, but not like a rom-com book that you would read normally. So it's kind of hard to understand, but I'm ready for the suspense part. And where I just left off, something happened. Like, I guess you would call it a bit of a twist. And I was just like, what? Wait. And something else happens. And I was like, Like, I was just at the edge of my freaking seat. I'm like, how is this gonna play out? Like, how is this gonna play out? So, needless to say, this is feeling like a very much 5-star. If the suspense holds up to my liking and it wraps around good, this is a 5 fucking star. I'm feeling it. Like, I'm feeling it. And it's just so, so good. Anyway, I'm determined to finish this book by today, because today's the 31st. We have less than hours before a whole new freaking year. And I am not going into 2026 with an unfinished book. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. At first I was like, no, I don't care. And I was like, no. My mental can't grab it. So I'm gonna finish this book today. I can absolutely eat this up at work. And as for Spread Me, so I got like an hour in the audio yesterday while I was driving to Target and doing a few things before I got home. And I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. Like, I know what going into it, it was supposed to be like a female erotica horror, body horror type of thing. And I gotta say, I mean, a short audio, it's only 5 and some change long. And obviously things are gonna go fast within that time because it's so short. So I didn't expect the first hour of the audio, we're already getting the erotica part. I was like, oh, whoa, we're just jumping right in. All right. So it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. I don't know if it's my thing. I don't know if it's my thing per se, but I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I want to know how it ends. So I'm gonna, sprinkle that audiobook here and there, but this is gonna be my main focus. I obviously am gonna finish that audiobook because I have 4 hours left in it, and I can definitely do that within like 2 hours. So I will be reading that sporadically. But yeah, this is like feeling so good right now. And it's really igniting that spark in reading physical books for me. I love reading physical books, but sometimes I'm so invested in my Kindle, or I'm just so busy that I have to listen to my audiobooks. And although I love my audiobooks at times, there are moments that I'm like, I just don't want nothing in my ears. I want it to be peaceful. I want to listen to my piano music and just read. And I'm absolutely in the mood to be reading with my eyeballs lately. Like, I'm just loving the experience. And it's just, like I said, igniting that love again. And I just finished reading on my Kindle for a lot of the month because I was reading arcs and stuff. And I'm just like, okay, what book am I picking up next? So I'm very much in a happy reading space right now, and it feels so good. And I'm just ready to finish this book so I can tell you my thoughts. I'm so excited. Let's finish this book. To get changed, I just did my makeup and just hang out at the house for New Year's Eve with the family. I need to finish my book beforehand, and I did finish Spread Me. I'm reading it 3 stars. Honestly, I don't even know what the hell I just read. It was very weird. And yeah, I mean, it kind of read like the movie The Host and so many movies like that. So nothing unique in my opinion. It was all right, I guess. A quick read, but I'm probably gonna forget about it. So anyway, let's finish Woman Down. What the fuck is going on? Literally, what is going on right now? Oh my god. Last book of 2025. This was so good. This was so good. Oh my god, this was so good. I did predict a little bit of the ending twists. I did predict a little bit, but not all of it. but I think this is a 5-star. Yeah, yeah. I think so. I think so. I'm gonna sit on it for a few days, but I think this is gonna be a 5-star. I absolutely think you should pick this up when it comes out January 13th. This was so absolutely good, but not as suspenseful, like plot-wise. It does have suspenseful moments, but this is definitely heavy on the romance aspect versus suspenseful. But wow. Wow, 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 amazing. So good. If you like romantic suspense, I think you would love this. Truly, I'm so happy I'm ending the year with a bang. Seriously, this was so good. I'm like, I'm gonna be thinking about this for a while. My nerves are tingling. I'm gonna get changed so I can spend it with my family, and I hope you have a beautiful 2026.